Every week, something new. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, let's try this again. There it is. All right. Okay, sorry about that. If you could see me and you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up in the chat, or just tell me you can hear me. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I don't know what happens to this thing. Oh, okay. Good. Okay, I see you guys coming in. Good. Okay. Is my sound good? Can you guys hear me? Let me check my sound. Test. Yep. Good. All right, coming through fine. All right, good. All right, so guys, welcome back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I don't know what happens. Sometimes I try to get this thing right, but electronics are electronics. They kind of have a mind of their own sometimes, but we're here now, so we're not going to cry over spilled milk. So today, guys, I've got a great show and everything for you. We've got a special guest. We've got my man, Mr. Dukes, who is going to grace us with his presence. He is the owner of Events by Duke, which is a great company, but I'll let him tell you guys more about that. Now, you guys that are on here, you're on my regular channel, right? You're not on my, are you on my Twisted Transitions or are you on my JayBook channel? Let me know in the chat. I thought that I put it to my regular channel, but I could be wrong. It looks like it's coming through on my regular channel, hopefully. Let me wait and see what it says, see what you guys say here. Give me 1 second, man. Golly. Horrible day. Okay, so everybody, so it is coming through on my regular JayBook channel, so that's good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started so we can get my man in, and he'll chop it up with you guys some more. So Christmas was this past weekend. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I hope that everybody was safe and everybody got what they wanted, or they were able to please somebody else for Christmas. So merry, happy Christmas, blah, blah, blah. I was so glad. I'm one of those guys who just doesn't really do well with Christmas. It's like, you know, been there, done that type of deal. So now I'm like on to the next, which is New Year's. So we're at New Year's and stuff now. So let's talk about New Year's. So I'm sure you guys have some New Year's parties. But I wanted to talk about New Year's, and I wanted to give you guys an experience that I experienced with New Year's so you guys don't make the same mistake. I know I have a lot of new DJs and stuff in the room who like to ask a lot of questions, so I'm just going to give you, you guys always ask me, what experience have you had that went wrong, and you guys always want to know that, so I'm going to give you one here. I'm going to take you back about 4 to 5 years ago, and I was doing a New Year's Eve to New Year's Day, of course, party. Really prestige party because these guys were like, some of the top of the food chain at this particular business, but they like to have a good time, so they hired me, and the night was going absolutely fantastic. It was absolutely beautiful. And I think I actually have a video on it. If you go back to some of my archive ones, it's like a split one. It was like last wedding of the year and New Year's Eve party, I think it was. So you could see what I'm talking about. But I was playing for these guys, and we're just having a great time. Everybody's having a great time. And then it came time for the ball to drop. And granted, now for some reason, New Year's Eve weddings or parties have not been in my repertoire of events that often. I probably have had less than 10 New Year's Eve parties. Out of my whole DJ career, I probably have had less than 10. It's just not one of those days that I usually get booked a lot. It has increased as of late, except for this coming up weekend. I don't have one again, which is fine with me. But it has increased and stuff as of late. But this particular one, when it was time to let the ball drop, we did the countdown. Everything was great. So, it was like, 10, 9, 8, all the way down to 1. And it was like, Happy New Year, everybody. Just, yeah. And of course, everybody knows that at that point, that is when you actually play the All-In Zyme, I believe it's called. And that's where you're supposed to let that play. So when I say everyone knew it, I meant to say everybody but me. So imagine being in this room full of prestigious people and, the ball drops, the fireworks are going off outside. You could see it because we're at the top of this building. And it's just like a great scene. Fireworks are going off. And I just kind of go back into music. It's like Happy New Year. Everybody says it. It's kind of dead silent. Everybody's cheering. And then I just kind of go back into music. And we turn up for another hour. And right when I started playing that music, a lady came up to me and she told me, she said, what happened to All-In Zyme? And I said, I'm sorry, what? And she said, yeah, All-In Zyme. What happened to it? And I was like, I'm not sure what you're talking about. She was like, you have to play All-In Zyme and stuff whenever you're, whenever you do a New Year's Eve party. And I was like, ooh, I'm sorry. So I didn't think nothing of it. She kind of left it alone right there. I saw that she went and, she disclosed that to somebody else who was at the party. And later I got a phone call from the guy I was working with and stuff at the time, and he had booked the gig, and he told me, he said, yeah, that party may have gone over well, but they were pretty furious with you. And I was like, for real? And they said, yeah, they were pretty furious with you. And I asked why. I was like, what I do? I thought everything went through great. They said, well, man, you didn't play All-In Zyme. You didn't play it at all. And I was like, yeah, I know I didn't play that song, but I mean, that's not a big deal, right? And he kind of broke it down to me on what that song means and why you're supposed to play it. And then I was like, oh, that's why that lady was so mad. That's why she was so pissed. So it ended up being like crazy. It was a whole thing. I actually ended up getting to do them like 2 years later, and that same lady was there, and she made sure she came and asked whether or not I had that particular song. So I made sure that, from that point on, I was going to play that song. So it was it was crazy. It was crazy to say the least. But always got a crazy story and stuff, when it comes to New Year's. That is definitely by far my craziest story. So anyway, yeah, so let me know in the chat and stuff that, whether you guys have a New Year's Eve gig, what you got going on and stuff for New Year's. We're not going to have a whole lot of Q&A today because we are going to talk shop and stuff today. So hopefully you guys will be entertained. I think you will, because I've got some great questions ahead and stuff for you guys. So just get ready for that. And let me make sure I check here. So we've got the man, the myth, the legend in the green room right now. DJ Mr. Duke is waiting on us at this time. So I want to make sure that you guys can hear me and see me smooth and clear. So let me know in the chat whether or not you can hear me, whether or not anything is hesitating before we get started. And let me know before I bring on Mr. Duke. All right, let me know in the chat real quick. Just chop it up real quick. Just tell me if you can hear me, see me, if everything's moving good. I've moved my hands a couple times to make sure it's not jumpy, glitty, anything like that. Good, we good, we good. All right, good, good. All right. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and bring this intro in. You know, I like to introduce these guys, man, because you know we're all DJs, man. We like to be introduced. It's like we're being put on the spot. You know what I'm saying? All right, so this is the information I gathered, and if I'm wrong here, he will correct me and stuff here. So we'll chop it up with him here. So here we go. So he is the owner of Events by Duke. His business is out of Houston, Texas. He has between 5,000 followers between IG and YouTube. He is a gearhead enthusiast. He was and has been one of the DJs I've looked up to when I started YouTube and when I started my own business. My people, join me in welcoming Mr. DJ Duke.
What up? What up?
What's happening? There he is.
Y'all can hear me? Y'all got good connection?
Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear everything here. I think I got everything up, volumes up. I can hear you great in my headphones, but let's make sure the audience can hear you. So if you just say a couple things real quick, I know they can hear me.
What up, y'all? Y'all can hear me?
Can you hear? Can y'all hear him?
I see y'all in the chat. I see y'all in the chat. Cheeseburger. What a name. Northwest Audio.
All right, I think it's starting to come through a little bit here. Let's see what I got. All good, all good, all good. Good. All right. All right, so let's get this thing started here. So first, I wanted to just tell you, you may not have known some of this information I'm about to tell you here, man, but when I started YouTube, I want to say about 8 years ago, there was only a handful of DJs and stuff on the platform that, you know, kind of did the same thing I did. And for some reason, your video came across my page and stuff, and I was like, you know, this guy does a lot of the same stuff that I do, which is very interesting because I thought that, you know, my style and the way that I play and the stuff that I do is only, you know, catered to just my area and where I'm at and stuff like that. And I was about to kind of put down DJing because it just kind of got repetitive and over and over and over again. I was just exhausted and stuff from it. So, you know, YouTube was just a new way for me to express and bring back the love for music and DJing and stuff I had. And you were one of the first people on Instagram as well as YouTube that I saw just doing the thing. And I don't know how long you had been doing your thing for prior to me seeing that, but when I saw you, or you know, it's a competitive juice thing, so I was like, okay, I gotta get my numbers and stuff up. You know, if he's already got this, and I gotta get this, and I gotta put something together. I know I can make this happen. But you were one of the people that I looked up to, and you know, your content and stuff. You were putting out content a lot during that time. And that was just something that kind of kept me motivated because I was a hungry little cub back then, and now I'm just a sleeping lion.
Just a little bit more grays, but we
right. So you know that was a while back and stuff, man. So that was cool though. But I just wanted to let you know, thank you for just putting out stuff out there because you know you just never know who's looking. And since I've put out stuff, I know you've probably gotten this too, but people look at you different. People will actually confide in you. People see stuff you're doing, and they just want to know, how are you doing that? How are you able to do this, that, and the other? How do you manage a business and not have a 9-to-5? And, sometimes we kind of take it for granted because it feels like it's easy, but it's so far from easy.
So far.
It's so far from easy. So we appreciate people like you who put in the work and just show us how it's done and leads the way, especially for the African-American community. So we definitely appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, thank you, man. I definitely. So I guess start, man. So you said it was about 8 years ago.
I think it was about 8 years ago.
So I've been on YouTube probably maybe 10 years, a little bit over 10 years. So that's when I pretty much I started on YouTube about 10 years. So I guess to give you a little short background story. So when I started doing my videos, basically I started because of gig logs, and I just was like, I was more or less just set up the camera, set it and forget it. I really wasn't. I really didn't really talk. I didn't really do anything. It was just let the music play, and let. I was more. It was more of a advertising tool for me. I didn't really use it as a like a way to connect with other people. I didn't. I really wasn't on here for that. I just was like, I'm gonna make my videos that way I can show my clients what I do, because you know how it's hard to explain what we do sometimes. So,
Right.
and there's so many places that we can actually show what we do without getting banned or getting struck down by a certain whatever the big social media platforms that kind of then. So that's when I got on social media, and that was the reason. It was more of a marketing tool more than
Right.
anything, and that's what I used it for. And that's when I started around that time. It was primarily gig logs,
Okay.
and that's kind of the main thing that if you go on my page, that's pretty much all I got. I don't really do a lot of gear reviews because of I don't know why.
Wait.
I get offers. I get a lot of offers to do gear reviews.
He does, and let me tell you, he's being very modest right now. He may not do gear reviews, but don't let him fool you because he's got gear for days. If it's new, if it's something new that has come out, usually I can see it on his page. He had Cold Sparks before Cold Sparks were Cold Sparks. He had Dancing on the Cloud when Dancing on the Cloud was not even thought of like that. He has all the bells and whistles. Don't He's being really modest right now.
And it comes from me still watching other people's videos, actually just kind of being more of a I'm more of a viewer on YouTube these days. I post my videos, but I still look at just random videos. Sometimes I still search gig logs.
Right.
Some of the DJs in there I still come in on. I watch gig logs still to this day, but
Okay.
it's just the way my life is now, like making gig logs, you know how it can be. It can get exhausting when you got
Exhausting.
3 hours of video. I mean, I got so many SD cards of gig logs in my cell phone. Like it's like ridiculous. Like I'm probably behind maybe I don't know. Like this year, I'd probably only made a few gig logs because, like my bread and butter is. I know you probably talked about it, but social media,
Yep.
Instagram and Facebook is more of where I lean towards. As
Right.
far as to put more effort to, because, I guess I get on YouTube and I get down those rabbit holes like most people, and now I'm about 6 videos in, watching other DJs, watching other just podcasts about just different stuff, just being on here. Then you're like, man, I should use this time probably make a gig log, but then I can make a 15-second reel and I'm done. The
Right.
reels, and it's like we tend to get caught up in what everybody tell us to do, but uh, the number one thing I can say is still my clients to this day. They'll when their clients, potential clients, are client. Hey, we was on your YouTube channel and we love da 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 da,
Right.
and then it sparks your brain like I need to probably be doing some more
Right.
full length long videos, and it's like this platform is it's geared towards our peers more or less.
Right.
It's like, a lot of our peers are in the comments I see, but that's been the thing. It's like, man, I don't post for the other DJs, but and then the other clients, my clients tell me like, oh yeah, we watching all your videos, and what is that? What is that you have right there? I love that right there. Blah blah. It's like, and then make you be like, I probably need to stop. But it's a gig logs become so labor intense,
Right.
like making those videos, and it's like Instagram has spoiled me,
Yeah.
Facebook has spoiled me, it really has spoiled me, and it's like because I can make a video on there and I can get so much traffic to that video, and I can get potential clients faster than like YouTube,
Right.
and it's like and it's in a way I spend more effort on it, like compared to YouTube. But I know the DJ community, they love gig logs because I love
Love them.
them.
They love
You
them.
know, it's like I love them, but it's like, and I watch a lot of them, man, and it's like, but it's labor intense.
It is. It is. I'm like you. I have a good bit of gig logs that I'm sitting on and stuff now, but I like to kind of get the product and stuff that I'm buying out because everybody always asks me what's this you're using, what's that you're using, how do you use it? So I'm just like, okay, let me just make a video and stuff about it, and that way I could just refer you to this video or send you a link because trying to say the same thing over and over and over again, it's a nightmare. So yeah, I use the gig logs and stuff like that. A lot of my couples, I think actually some of my coordinators that I'm in good with, they just refer them to my YouTube channel, and stuff for like the gig logs and stuff. I often the music I play, they kind of like that, and of course, social media is a big workhorse and stuff, especially reels. Reels have I've started to see some clients like really like the reels and stuff they see and like the creativity and stuff of it. You get booked off of stuff like that. It's crazy
Yeah.
the difference between now and 8 years ago when nobody
Yes.
was really using that stuff to really book your client. Like you had to actually be in the knot or the wedding wire or stuff like that, and that's how you got all your clientele. But now it's just like free services and stuff is how you get stuff, which is
Yeah.
finally amazing.
Yeah.
So that's good.
It's really like you done put in the work into your channels or into your pages or whatever the case may be, and now they're kind of starting to work for you. You know, if you got the right, it's the main thing is having the right content on your page.
Right.
You know, and so whatever questions you have
Oh,
for
I
me.
got them. Oh, I got them, man. I got them. I look. See, I put on my interviews hat. See, right here, I've got my questions right here lined out and stuff for you, man. So we're gonna hop right into it. And these are some of the things that I feel like the guys and stuff in the chat would want to know. And then there's some questions that I just kind of thought of myself. So let's start off with this one. So how did you get started DJing, and how did it lead to you like starting your own company and business? Like what were you doing like prior to this, and then you say, oh wait, I can go do this. How did that work out?
So in college, I was always the mixtape person, meaning like I made mixtape, I made mix CDs. You know, when we had CD players in cars, I never listened to radio before even that. So I've always been the person who can you burn me a CD, make me a CD. It's illegal, but still, I was that person making those CDs, doing the line wire days, doing all those days, and so I just kind of got into. I always had an ear for music. I always, like just listen to music ever since. And so it started in. I had a pair of turntables when I was in college. So I didn't play anything, but I always, I was just fascinated with it. Bought records and just had it. And so fast forward, still, around that time, just being more of a music enthusiast. Um, so the weirdest time when I can, just to make a long story short, I started when I was working on my master's degree. So I'm working on my master's degree, and around that time, working on my master's degree, I started to I bought what did I buy? So this is what happened. I booked a guy for my house party.
Okay.
So I booked him, and he was horrible. So he was horrible. So he was a horrible. He just this was around the time in 2011, maybe 11. And so he just had a regular little CD, little thing. It was just, I don't know what it was, but it just was like he had a nice sound system and it was nice, but he was just playing from one song to the next. This was around the time before the real controllers started coming out. You had to really have CDJs or people were playing CDs. That's what he was doing. And so it was a bad experience. And so it was like, but I was playing around with some software on my laptop. I tried to remember the name, of it, but it was this software that you can play MP3s and mix, music or whatever.
Okay.
And it just kind of snapped, and I bought the NS7. That was my first thing I bought. I bought an NS7, and I just kind of learned it, taught myself, um, watched boatload of Kid Capri videos, DJ Jazzy Jeff videos.
Of course.
No, I don't have a story of like I was around other DJs. I really just was like, I used to always have this thing when we used to go out around my really clubbing days. It was just something about DJs. I would remember they sets. I used to
Hmm.
be like, oh, now he's about to play this. Now
Right.
he's about to play this.
Right.
Now he's about to play this. And I used to be like, man, I just remember his set. And it wasn't really like a me being a pompous or being, just kind of like I know what I'm doing. But it's like I'm like I know I can do this. But I still didn't know what I was doing. Didn't know how to transition. Didn't know how to beat match. Didn't know nothing about nothing. I just it just was this thing that just was. It was like this thing that was just in me where I was like, I think I can do this. So I just bought. I bought an NS7, like the first one that came out. Didn't know what I was doing. Spent all this money on the NS7, and I just kind of taught myself, learn how to be, just learn. And it was around that time I was in grad school, and then uh, the crazy thing is, this year, the first gig I ever booked back in 2010, she just rebooked me for a photo booth only. Like, because I was booked for another event. She was so mad. She was like,
Oh
so
wow.
this was 12 years. What? No. So it was 2011.
So it's
20 no no
11.
no 20, no 2012.
Oh, okay.
So it was 20, it was the end of 2012. Like,
Okay.
'cause I started around 2011, 2012, and then I booked that event. I just remember booking that event, and I just remember it was just, I looked at the video on my Facebook not too long ago. It was horrible. I had these spotty, these crazy, these derby lights. It just, the video was trash. The gig log. It was a '70s theme party. I mean, I think that was the most I got at that time. I think she paid me like 250,
Oh
maybe
wow.
225,
Oh
something
wow.
like ridiculously low. And I probably was there maybe 6 7 hours, just a long event. It was just, it was one of those events, and that's kind of when I first started. And but I was practicing like crazy in the house before I even. I mean, it maybe was months because I was doing it while I was in grad school. I didn't really take no gigs until literally after I like graduated grad school, and I was like, and then I'm like supposed to be using a graduate degree to be looking for a job, and day job promising me, oh, you get a degree, we're gonna promote you, blah blah blah. But I'm like, this is not happening. So the whole day, you know how it is having a real job trying to just do self
Yes.
care, and they promising me this. I'm just going to school willy nilly, thinking like I'm gonna be making more money, and at the same time, it just kind of worked out perfect because it was a job where I wasn't tied down to the office. So the time when I'm supposed to be in the what we call the field, I'm at home, still got my work phone, but I'm practicing at home, pause it, take phone calls.
That's
so,
what's up.
so this is way before the days of how everybody's working from home. But it
Right.
wasn't working from home. It was like most of the things that we had to do were remote from the office that we had to go check on.
Oh, okay.
And but that time I'm at home practicing, still doing that, still off on the weekend. So now I'm starting to book gigs around that time, and this is when it started to take off. But it was still small gigs, house parties. I can't even remember my first wedding. I think I know. I do know my first wedding because we still follow each other on Facebook, and it was a it was a. I looking back on that video, it was. I don't want to say it was. I don't want to say it's bad, just in case she's watching. But the setup wasn't. It wasn't. I'm not proud of the setup. So it was just a table with a linen, and I had
Ooh.
maybe some Mackie Thumb speakers. Uh, uh, her
Ooh.
son, who he, it just it was just one of those things. Looking at the video, a gig log, it looked like everybody had a great time.
Right.
But just one of those things where they didn't have a big budget, but I still provided service. We still have those clients who contact us, and nowadays we may not be, in their budget, but
Right.
at that time, so that's kind of when I started, and it just kind of started. That's when it kind of started grad school, starting to take gigs, and it just kind of took off from there, snowballed, and kind of just 10 years now, man, almost 11. Just crazy how like you don't realize you're doing something for 10 years, and you get to a place where people ask you questions, and you're like. I don't. I'm not. I don't think I'm one of the people who people find to be, because I just been really just been grinding it. I've been
Right.
learning as I go, trying different things, learning. Everything. I kind of, YouTube University. I would per se. I always tell people I approached it like I did my grad degree and my undergrad. I approached it like a study. I watched everything. That's why I still watch Gig Loss and just learn what I learn who my clients are, what my clients need, like what's the new thing without being, buying too much,
Right.
overspending, buying things I don't need, basically the meat and the potatoes and, not too much on the dessert. Like I always tell people who starting a business, like as long as you got your, your main course, a couple sides, you don't want to be, dealing too much in the getting every new uplight, getting
Right.
going by. Like somebody told me, I just bought a new. I don't know his name, but he was like, I bought a dance floor. I'm like, he was like, man, they keep asking me for a dance floor. I can't
Right.
think of who it
That's not
is, but
that's not the best
that,
investment and stuff initially. If you start now, I mean, dance floor,
but
you got to take that home every time. You got to clean that thing. Oh no, 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 no.
so it's a thing, that I always, that's how I kind of approach it. Still to this day, it's like I make sure I have what I need.
Right.
I try not to get too much in the details of the business and just buying everything that that you see new come out, because they will get us. They will get us every time. Every year there's a new trade show, new equipment coming out,
Every
and that's
time.
fine. If you got the budget, that's fine. But that's the main thing, how I started and how I got to the point now. It's just keeping I got a big storage. I got a what 20 by 20 of all kind of stuff in there.
Ooh.
Just, just stuff and
Ooh.
that I use. I just tell everybody, it's just don't overspend when it comes to business.
Right.
So
Just take your time and just slowly build based on the clientele. If you start to see a whole bunch of people asking for the same thing, then maybe that's an investment. But just because the people up north are throwing fireworks and stuff out there, you
yeah,
don't have to go buy fireworks just because it looks cool and stuff like that. Just, take your time, know your clientele and stuff like that.
yeah,
Because I was just like that when it came to cold sparks. Like I kept seeing everybody up north do cold sparks, and I was like, well, nobody down here has asked for it. Now the trend has made its way down here,
yeah,
and now finally I can use cold sparks. So now I'm like, okay, let's throw an investment that way, and let's
yeah.
see, how we come out on the other side. And that's how I've based my entire business thing. But you said you got a what? Did I hear that right? Is that a 20 by 20? Is that what I heard?
Yeah. It's
A
just
tw- You know what I
because
could do with a 20 by 20 right now? That's like a DJ's
it's
dream space.
it's really the photo booth has we do photo booth and DJ, so it's just a lot of you start accumulating stuff, like with the photo booths, with the backdrops, props, keeping stuff organized. You want to just kind of, I try to keep it organized because you just want to go in, grab and go. You don't want to, be sifting through stuff when how it is when it's a busy. You was tired from Friday and you
Oh, yeah.
forgot. Oh man, I gotta do Dancing on the Clouds today.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
where is it? Oh, it's back here because I put a couch in here.
All the way in
It's
the
like
back.
nothing. It's all the way in the. It's like it's like you want it to be organized. At the same time because
Right.
you know can't have it at home
That's
because
true.
I live in the South and we liable to flood.
Right. Right. Or snow and freaking Texas
No,
or snow.
like man, I don't want to risk that. Thinking like even I see people pipes busting down here because it was frozen.
Right.
Like I don't want to have to deal with that. Come home and
I agree.
I'm so. But yeah,
I agree.
what other questions you got for me?
Oh, I got some more for you, man. Here they come. Now, let's talk about the name here, because you have you have an LLC that and it's under Events by Duke, but where does that name originate from? Like how why is it that and how did you decide that you wanted to go ahead and make this thing a business?
So, so I wanted to. I always believe in keeping it simple. So a lot of my stuff, if anybody who follow me, they know I try to be as, simple, right down to straightforward. So Events by Duke is my name, literally. So long story short, again, they used to call me Doolittle when I was little, and so my grandmother couldn't pronounce it. She just called me Duke, and so Duke just stuck with me. And everybody called me Duke. Real name is James, but and I just was like, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna just use. And I always say, I always try to be most professional as I possible. And I just like, I just thought put Mister on the front and put DJ. I really just wanted to keep it simple, like nothing. I didn't want to be deep. I don't want to say nothing about nobody's name, but
Right. Oh
I didn't
no.
want to have. I didn't want to have the name of like Jazzy Jeff. I didn't want it to
Right.
be, it's like just that's not my my style. And so and Events by Duke is just Events by Duke. It's straight to the point.
Straight to the
You
point.
know, I I wanted it to be a name where when I make a website, it's straight to the point. I didn't want it to be a long drawn out name where people go look me up. Everything's still going back towards the business model of keeping it simple, like Events by Duke or DJ Mr. Duke. You always want to make sure when you this just I give you two. You always want to make sure people can understand you when you first say your business name, like
Right.
Events by Duke.
Right.
Because when you say like something long and drawn out, sometimes people get lost in the conversation. They forget what was it again? I totally forgot.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like Coca Cola, or Pepsi. It's
Right.
like that's just my graduate
Yep.
degree brain.
Well,
So,
that's a great way to think of it because the simplicity is always what you want to do,
yes,
especially when you're trying to get a client to remember you and you're at a
yes,
function already. It's like, how can I
yes,
get them to remember me? And that's why I like some of the things like the QR codes and stuff like that
yeah,
because when somebody scans that, it takes over their phone. It shows them everything on you
yeah,
on the phone, and that just makes it easy. I mean, how easy is it to remember me now that you have me in your phone?
yes.
You know,
It's
so I love that idea. I love keeping it nice and simple.
I embrace technology, so I love that too.
So about how many events do you do in your company like per year? Like what's been your best year, or what's like an average for you per year? Because I see you. I mean, you play on some of the weirdest days. Like you have a Tuesday event, a Wednesday, a Sunday, and then Saturday. You know, it's crazy. So what are the number of events you do per year?
Man, it can be as low as maybe 50 and maybe 115, maybe 120 a year. So, and that's between, so me and my wife run the company. So
Oh
she has the
goodness!
photo booth. So it's like I would tell everyone, I don't post every event.
Right,
So, if it's just a photo booth event, on our page, she may just post the event, but I may not post it. But sometimes if it's a small, maybe corporate function during the week, I probably don't. I don't. I guess I got to the point where I don't gig log. I post everything because I'm here working. Because
right,
once you running around, you setting up your setup and getting everything together. You maybe had an hour to set up, and
right.
you're like, man, I maybe didn't even make a video. It's like it is a lot, man. I salute y'all who do videos at every event when y'all get that 3 hours early, man. Whew. I really I salute y'all. So that's why it's probably like you don't see a lot of the events that I do because it's like I get there and I immediately like I'm trying to where do I need to set up? Where's this? Like did I charge my lights? Oh, let me. It's like I'm.
Oh
It's like oh my lights been in there since Friday
yeah,
from the
yeah.
other gig. I
I've
forgot
been
to
there.
take. I forgot to take them out, so I need to go ahead and find outlets to charge them up. I got to set up the photo booth, because a lot of people are booking. A lot of people book the social booth with the DJ service because it's just standalone. So it's
Right.
just over there by itself, and it's like still have to make sure. So a lot of that is, it's just a lot of the, events that come from photo booths is still popular,
Right.
and DJ service. A lot of add-ons during the week where people just maybe need a mic, speaker, or maybe just uplights, or maybe it's like they just need background music. It's just that's where a lot of my events come from. Not so much corporate, just everything. Like
Everything.
just everything. I do everything. It's like I know you said it, but so what I'm so for. Go ahead.
So I was just going to ask you. So I know you said you and your wife do it, but like, I mean, for that many events, you don't have like not one DJ to help you take some of that, because I'm pretty sure that people like request you and like maybe request you same day, and it'll be like the same time. So do you like have to turn that away, or do you outsource that, or do you have another DJ to help out with that one?
So it's I always how I tell everyone it I believe in community over competition. So I have multiple guys who I know that I trust who probably could do the same work. They probably better than me on turntables, and they setup may be just as nice as mine. But the thing is, I believe in I give you the potential gig for you to book. I don't. I just I come from management, so I'm
Right.
not gonna manage anybody. I left that for a reason. It's like I prefer to give you the lob and you sell it and you book it, but it's still under my trust that I gave you the gig and the client needs to be well taken care of. So I have a group of people who we all on Instagram, we all follow each other, Facebook, everywhere, and it's just who we all trust each other. If I'm booked, I ask somebody if they're booked, they ask me, vice versa. So, I prefer to operate that way compared to trying to hire somebody. I'm setting up a wedding and then somebody's calling me, hey, I can't make it. I've already lived that life for
Oh,
management. I don't want to live it no more. So y'all can have that multi operation. I've experienced it. I know a lot of people get into it because they probably never been on the corporate side of actually having to manage somebody, and it's a pain. It's a headache to where, I just that's why I do this is because I can manage myself well.
right.
I prefer not to, you know, have, send another person to the event. They have to worry about something happening, and they're calling me while I'm getting ready
Yeah.
to do a first dance, and I'm
Right.
worrying about my dance on the cloud machine working it, and so I'm trying to do all my stuff, and they're telling me that they're dancing on the cloud machine, and it's like, no, I
Right.
can't do that. Like what's wrong with the machine? I don't know. The
Right.
uplights are flickering. I don't know how do I like no.
All right.
So I salute y'all as well to you multi ops because I work with other vendors who have multi ops and they some of the people be there and they be like the coordinator. She's worrying about another wedding going on.
Yep.
One of my favorite coordinator. She had to leave to go take care of another wedding. She was like thank you, and I basically ran the wedding for her. So it's like
Right. Because they know we can do it all. They trust us enough. Yep. I've
she
got those too.
she was like he was like I am so stressed out. I was like I guarantee you are, and that's why I don't do it. We just
Right.
laugh, but.
Let me ask you this. So, like, for those guys that you say you have the circle and stuff with, did you originally have to, like, go out and see them play before you started referring them? Like, how did you gain the trust to be able to say, okay, you know what, I've got this guy, and it's not just based off of his word that he could do it.
It's kind of the same thing, the same approach where you trust me enough to come on your platform. So I seen them from a distance, and I see if you got a website. I see if you got a professional email address, meaning like not just DJ Mr. Duke at Gmail or DJ Mr. Duke at Events by Duke. You have videos that relate to actually what you do on social media.
Right.
That way, because what I do is, you send me your digital business card and I just forward that to the client and I say, this is someone I trust, meaning like they can go do their research on you. So they already kind of did, a good amount of research on it compared to them having to do the research, then still have to scratch their brain. Like, I don't know. You know how it is.
Right,
Like
right, right,
somebody that vetted this person already at the same time, and then it makes their life a little easier to where now they can just make a decision based on price or based on what they actually seen or based on the phone call, Zoom call, whatever case may be. So that's how I kind of did the same thing. It's like, long as I can kind of see, what and some of us we work together. Some of us, uh, like sometimes when I book a school gig and it's busy, or like when it's maybe 5 or 1,000 of us, sometimes I book a DJ paying them really well to just come mix. That way, all I gotta do is bring their mixer. I bring everything set up. I'm still there. So when the point of contact from the school or what event, it's like well, I'm not just sending them. I'm there as well, and still, and then I'll see how they do. I'm still there, and then if they, can rock out a crowd of 1,000 screaming
right,
kids,
right,
don't get scared. And at the same time, it's like, okay, I can trust them, and I always try to make sure that I'm gonna send a gig to where I know that's gonna be of a standard.
right,
I'm not gonna. I don't. So that's why that's kind of where we built this trust bond from other DJs, where it's like they know not to send me something where it's like somebody's trying to book me for $25 an hour.
right, right,
Like it's like plus it's like everybody I vet the client, and the client I vet you, and it work, and it's like the circle of life to where it's like the client is out. Most of our clients are stressed out because we all look alike. We
right,
all got websites. We all got the shiny looking videos, and
right,
it makes it hard for So now most of our clients are booking based on trust.
right,
You know, can I trust this person to make sure they're not gonna play the dirty version at our school event?
right. And
It's
that
that.
rapport, that's why that rapport is so crazy. And the recommendations come, it's good to be recommended when you're going into something like that. A lot of my school events are previous clients. Like they've seen me
Yeah,
at events and they know what kind of music I play. So all they have to say is, I'm like, what are you looking for? They're like, you to make everybody have a good time and don't play the dirty version. I'm like, okay, cool, gotcha, done.
yeah,
And then they just leave
done.
me alone.
Yeah, that's all. And you still have to go a step further because you can still play the clean version, but sometimes that still ain't good enough.
Right.
It's like, no, yeah, so you have to entrust other DJs that understand that like every gig is not the same.
Right.
So every just you have to understand that when it comes to working with other DJs.
I agree. I'm actually after this, I'm going to check out a guy and stuff downtown because one of the things I said I'm going to do in 2023 is get that circle. I've already got one guy, Mike's probably watching. I don't know if he's watching and stuff now, but that I'm going to start helping book events and stuff. Just kind of passing them to him so he can do his thing, and then I'm going to check out another guy because I want to kind of get that camaraderie and stuff like that so I can send these guys this, because what's happening is the stuff is starting to overlap. You know what I'm saying? Stuff is starting to, people want the same day, and I'm getting like 4 clients a day that want that exact same day, and I'm like, oh, like I hate to turn that away. All I had to do is just get 2 more people, and then boom, I can pass those on, and everybody can
Right.
get paid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel you. I totally understand. Oh yeah, Mike is here. There he is, Magic Mike in the building. What's up, man? All right, so some more questions here. You kind of answered that one when I had one of the questions was how much does social media play a part. So you got that. So here's some kind of off the wall ones here. If you weren't DJing, what would you be doing?
So the goal is to have my own event center. So that's the only
Okay.
thing I want to do. So that's my next goal. So I don't want to do nothing else but that. That's it.
So like have your own like venue.
My own venue.
Oh man, that's dope. That's dope because you just pretty much have to tend to the venue, and that's it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So that answered that question here too, because it says, what's the end game for you? What at the end of this? What do you want to be able to accomplish? And you're shooting towards that. That's awesome. So, what is your dream event? What's the event that you would love to do if it was offered to you, and you might even do it for free because of that opportunity? What's that event? I always ask DJs this because they always do that noise. I don't know.
Maybe, maybe an arena. Maybe arena like a basketball game,
See,
football game.
I told you
Yeah.
guys. I told you. That's our dream event to do stuff
Yes.
like that. That's awesome. So you're in the
Big-
Houston, Texas area. So you would do like a Rockets game and stuff like that for
Yeah.
nothing?
Yes. I gotta weigh in,
Uh huh.
but they went another direction, and it was like for the lot. It was
Right.
like, and they went another. I was like, man, I just wanted to. I've done the road. The rodeo was very big down
Right.
here. I've done that kind of stuff, but it
Right.
was mostly like, where they have private events with tents and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like to get in one of those arenas or events,
Yes.
like just when you hear that sound system, when you could be like, it'd be right there.
Yes. That would be
Nobody,
amazing.
and it's just a set. Most of the time they're not DJing the whole time. They just DJing sets. They
Right.
just get in there 45 minutes and they, yeah,
Right, and
you know.
sometimes they don't even play during like halftime and stuff like because it's like a whole halftime show. So sometimes it's just like the pregame and it's just like the post game and like maybe some commercials here and there. But for the most part, the arena takes care of the rest of it. I mean, that's a cake job, but that's dope because you're like kind of center everybody. I would love to do it at a football game or a basketball game. I think both of those would just be amazing.
And you can't play anything there, so they're gonna
Oh yeah.
control.
Oh yeah. But you can
So
still
that's
play
the
hype songs as long as you don't play the bad
yeah.
versions.
That's the best, and that's the best thing I love is to where when you feel like you can control me, but I still like kill it. Like where
Right.
it's like, oh y'all told me I can only play like country. I'm i I'm I, I'm gonna show you. Oh yeah,
I'm
we
gonna play
only we
country
only
to the fullest.
oh we only want to hear this. We only want to hear that. Then you do a mix of you just do what you do, and then they be like. They just mouth be open where it's like, because they kind of, some people pigeonhole us and they think, well, my family only like this, but it's like you try to be like, okay, let me see. You
Right.
start looking around, see who's here.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this, and then it works and they catch. But if not, if it don't catch, you just hear up and dip out, blend out of, just get out of, hear 'em get out of it. But
Everybody's got
that's
that blend too song.
yeah, just be ready to go. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So here's a question that I don't normally ask, but I'm going to ask this one to kind of close it out here and wrap it all up. Now, these guys who are usually in here, they are such gearheads, and I see a lot of gear and stuff that you have. What is DJ Mr. Duke using for a mixer right now that he is comfortable with, or is he looking to get something new later? Are you at the end of a mixer and about to transition to another one? What are you using right now to do most of your events?
I have my newest one I just bought is the Rain. What is it? Rain One, the with the split. Uh,
Ooh,
So
Rain
with the
One.
so I basically they were technical side Rain bought out new mark. So basically
Mm-hmm.
it's basically NS seven for everybody who want to know. It's NS seven. They just and it's not built as well as an NS seven. I want to put that on record.
Right.
So, but that's what I love. I love the Rain one right now. I love the I love it's sleek. Is they basically they shrunk it down. It's smaller than the NS7. I can't say that it's good for my back. Packing it, the NS7 was a monster, so it's like
Oh,
80 pounds in a flight case. So
right.
I want
Right.
to say it's almost it's half the weight. It's very I don't know what the weight is now, but it's very light compared to that. But that's my newest thing, and I love it. They have it's. I love the concept of two turntables in the mixer. I don't need all the bells and the whistles. I can scratch, I can mix, I can do all that stuff. But the parties I do, I just need two turntables in the mixer,
There you
and
go. I like
I
that. That should be like your slogan for the company: two turntables in a mixer. That's
yeah, I
all I
think
need. We can do the whole party.
that's all. That's all we need. That's really all we need. All the extra stuff is it's a bonus, but all
Oh
we
yeah.
need is two turntables.
Well, that's what's up, my man. Well, we definitely do appreciate you stopping through. Some of the fellas, I asked them who they wanted to see and stuff on here, who they wanted me to reach out to, and you had some votes and stuff on there. So I decided to reach out to you. You were happy to oblige, and man, we really appreciate you stopping through and stuff, bro.
Yeah, I see them in the comments, man. But
Oh
thank
yeah,
y'all. Shout out to y'all in the comments for everybody. Everybody in the comments. I see. Oh, I think you said I'm in Houston, Texas area.
yeah.
They
I saw a couple people ask where you're from. That's why I tried to say it again and stuff so they could hear. But you guys can check him out on his IG. I've got it right there on his name. It's at Events by Duke. You can also check him out on YouTube. He's got some YouTube videos and stuff under the same name. So definitely go check him out. Give him a follow. Tell him what's up. And just tell him you saw the show and stuff, man, that you were there at the show. So that would be amazing. We got to
Yeah,
support each other out here.
that's it. I comment. I like, if y'all have any questions, feel free to. I don't never turn down nobody who have questions or advice, they need for, going forward. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
open.
He's a better man than I. I don't answer questions. All right, bro. Well, we appreciate you coming through and stuff, man. You have a great evening, and we will talk really, really soon. Really soon.
All right, take care.
All right, bro. Oh man, that was great to have him come through, man. Like I said, make sure you go check out my man. Events by Duke. He, like I said, he's a great guy, and you guys can see he's got a great personality. He's a big deal and stuff in his area. So definitely give him a follow and a subscribe. So hopefully you guys will have learned something from him tonight. He's a single ops. I don't know if you gathered that information. He's a single ops, so he really just does everything himself. But I mean, think about that. He said on the low end he does 50 events. Now I did 54 last year by myself. That wasn't low for me. That's low for him, which is absolutely nuts. So he's absolutely killing it and stuff out there where he is, and he's in a great market for that. So we really do appreciate you guys coming and checking out the show and stuff this week. Next week, I will not be on next week. I finally get a vacation. I will be on vacation next week. So we will come back the second week of January, and we will talk about the upcoming larger than life wedding that I have coming up. So definitely stay tuned for that. We do appreciate you guys stopping through. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And for all of those who are kicking it at a New Year's Eve party, play your asses off. Please kill those New Year's Eve parties, and make sure that you are living to strive and not to survive. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.